Hi everybody, this is Carissa and welcome back to my channel, Inky Fairy Designs. I'm so excited to be back. I have a mixed media tutorial for you. We're going to be creating this page in the new Dina Wakley Media Journal, which I'll show you in a bit. But first of all, I wanted to show you the new gloss sprays. If you guys have seen anything about Creativation, these are amazing. So Ranger did send me a set before they were released, and I took some time to play with them. The first thing I wanted to do was just spray them on something and see how they look on both white and dark papers. The colors you can see here, I got Magenta, Cheddar, Lemon, Turquoise, Eggplant, and my favorite, which is white. So you can see on the paper behind where I'm showing you the colors that I sprayed it. It's just like watercolor paper, and I did half with black gesso and just wanted to see how they would kind of look on each surface. And you can see that even on the black cardstock, those brighter colors really show up nicely. Now the darker colors are going to blend in a little bit more. The white, holy moly, it is like the creme de la creme white. Love it. Splatters, everything. So there is the blue edition Dina Wakley Media Journal. I'm so excited about this. We have blue denim, white burlap, and the heavyweight cotton paper, which is what everybody loved in the 6x6 journal. Now we have it in the 8x10 format, and I'm so excited. I love it. That is the surface that I worked on today, but the denim and the burlap are just as amazing, and I will have more videos creating on those surfaces coming up later this month. So I love the new journal. I love the new sprays. I learned a lot about the sprays during the session. This was my first time using them, and I just wanted to play. So I wanted to see how they work on a gessoed surface and a non-gessoed surface. So I put half of my page has white gesso on it, and the other page is not primed at all. These you do need to shake. You'll hear that there's a little metal ball in there, so you want to shake them really well. Make sure that all of that kind of mixes up together, and then you're good to go. You can see right away how the sprays react on the non-gessoed surface versus the gessoed surface. The gesso is acting almost like a resist, and it's pooling up and it's bubbling and just doing all sorts of fun things on that gessoed surface. And then you can see on the non-gessoed side, it's really just like sprayed, and you can see that halo of spray. It soaks right into the paper, which I pretty much expected it to be that way, but it's always nice when you get a new product in hand to do these kind of experiments. And that's what I love about art journaling, is that I can do that with new products, and I don't have to worry about messing up anything or ruining anything or wasting anything. I can just play and have fun and learn about that product, and in the end still make something really fun and beautiful. So I went ahead and continued to spray. You can see I added some water because these are if you add water to them, they're water soluble while wet, yet permanent when dry. I forgot to mention that. These are permanent. They are like a spray paint. That's how Dina describes them. They are not a spray ink. They are a spray paint. They are acrylic based, and they are glossy. So that is the in a nutshell what they are. I think they're amazing. So you can see I'm using a paper towel or a baby wipe and wiping up some of that, and you can see it lifts really nice off of the gessoed surface, but of course on the non-gessoed it sinks right into those fibers. So I hope you got to see kind of the different properties, how it reacts. I thought that was a really fun way to get to know this product, and I would use it on both surfaces. I would use it gessoed, I would use it non-gessoed. I created on the Dina Wakley media boards, and I didn't gesso them, and they were so fun on there. So they are just an awesome medium. I have 6 colors I showed you in the beginning. There are 12 altogether being released, so check out your local scrapbook stores, if you have them near you, ask them when they're getting them in. Sometime this month, I know they are shipping. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish this page. I did a little bit of background stamping. I'll have all of the items that I used in the description below. I am an affiliate with Ranger Ink, as well as other stores like scrapbook.com. So I do use affiliate links where I can. And really, that just helps me to continue to use great products that I love and share that with you guys. There's no cost to you for clicking on those links down below. It's just a way that you can really support me and help me to continue to bring you great content and videos. That is, if you like these videos. So I decided I love this stamp from her. I think last year this stamp was released, and I'm stamping it on her plain collage sheets, which are awesome for just this technique. You can stamp. I thought about stamping directly into the journal, but that cotton paper is super, I mean, it's heavyweight, so it's super textured, which is what I love about it, but you're not going to get clean stamping when you want to kind of have like the large image like this, the focal image. So stamping it on the collage sheet is great, because then I can play around, figure out where I want it on my page, and then collage it down, and I have a perfect impression, which is what I'm going to do now. All the products that I'm using are from Ranger, and so here I'm just using the gel medium, and I'm going to lay it down. So I really love how this page turned out. It's funny because I generally sit down and create like start to finish. I like to sit down, have an idea, and work through that. But this page was different. I sat down in January and I created this background. I just wanted to play with the spray so much, and I filmed it. And at that time, I did not have a computer to edit anymore my videos. So that's really why I took a break. And it was because I had no way to edit videos, and it took me a while to find a computer. So I have a computer now. I'm so excited to be back. I have tons of content coming your way, and it's just going to be a really exciting 2020. So back to my page. I am outlining this stamp with some of the Stabilo Marxel, which is probably the only non-Ranger product on this page. And I used some of the Collage collective papers, last year's Collage Collective. There are 2 more volumes coming this year that were released at Creativation. I do not have those, but I will be getting them because I am starting to use them more, and finding that like for this page, it was just such a great element, and I didn't know which one I wanted to use. I cut out a few different pieces and then I laid them out, figured out I loved this butterfly one because I liked the black and white against that colorful background. And so I collaged that down, adding some hair to the stamp. And this is a great way to use these face stamps and then turn them into your own. They're great on their own. If you just want to stamp it down and that's it, that's perfect. You can do that. But I like to kind of make it a little bit my own, and I add hair, or I fix up finish up the features a little bit or something, just to give it a little bit more interest. So that's what I was doing, and I used the Stabilo and then my journaling pen. So here with my hands, you can see I'm like caressing the page, but no, I was trying to decide if I wanted to block off this page, and that's always like, do I want to do this? Do I want to like cover up this background that I just made? And even though it's only little bits of it, I just didn't know for sure. And so I kind of like put my hands there to try and like give me a visual. Okay, what is this going to look like when I block out, you know, around the face? And then I decided I just got to go for it. So I pulled out some night paint and I did it. And as soon as I started putting down that paint, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the right thing to do, because it just made that face pop in the background. You know, I loved it. And so I really do love this technique a lot as far as like blocking off different shapes on a page, but I'm always like second guessing, do I want to do it? So now while that paint is wet, I'm just taking a baby wipe and pulling off the negative of this stencil to just lightly let some of that background back through, but it's not going to compete with my main focal image on the page. So once that's dry, I'm going to go around the butterfly with my Stabilo and just kind of shade it and make that element piece pop off the page. So that's about it for now. I'm really, I love this spray. So let me talk a little bit about them. They are permanent once dry, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons I've not used sprays a lot in my art, is because I would like to use them like early on in my layers of art, and most of them, if not all of them, well, most of them, there were a few permanent ones, but most of them just were not permanent. And I tried making my own, and I would use that, but it just wasn't something that I reached for. So when I got these in the mail, I was like, holy moly, this is awesome. It's in the colors that I love. And I couldn't, I couldn't believe that this, this is something. And then the other cool thing is that, like I said, it's water soluble when wet. So if you want to get those really soft watercolor backgrounds, but you want it to be permanent, these are going to be great for you. So I love them. The nozzles, I know a lot of people have questions about the spray nozzles. Now, I've probably used and abused these sprays. That's one of the things that I am not great about, is taking care of art supplies. I just like to use them and toss them, and I'm not really particular about what I'm doing in the meantime. That's why my stencils and stuff are like really messy. My stamps I hardly ever clean up. Yeah. So the same with these. One of the things, after I had been using them a couple of times, Dina went live and talked about them, and then the caps are necessary. So make sure you keep those caps and cap them every time after you're using them. And then the other thing that I have picked up along the way is that if you just keep a baby wipe on hand when you're creating, and you kind of wipe off that nozzle as you're done, that helps to keep them from getting clogged, because it's acrylic paint, it's plastic. If you leave that on the spray, it will, not spray the next time, but it will also peel right off. So you can just take your fingernail and get into that nozzle, peel off that paint, and then it'll work again. So I haven't had any other issues with it than that. And so I do keep a baby wipe on hand anyway. And so I just, clean it off as I go. And if it's not spraying, I clean off, I get my fingernail in that nozzle, and it works again. The white is amazing. I will be picking up another bottle of that because I know I'll be using it a lot. I love it for splatters. You can see I used it on the night right around the image. Added those white splatters, and they're super bright. So it's not like when you water down gesso or something like that, or you use some other, thing. It's just bright, and it's white, and it's exactly what I love. I'm hoping we get a black. I know in this first release, well, actually, I think in this first release we got night, which is my favorite anyway. So I'm glad that we have that. The only other thing I wanted to mention, what I experienced using these sprays, is that the overspray is intense, okay, to put it mildly. It sprays everything within sight. So I have started using like a cardboard box or something like that when I'm spraying, just to contain that a little bit. You might not, that might not bother you, but I was realizing that like everything around my desk was getting sprayed, including like my desk. I know I've heard like phones have now been colored with these sprays. So just take that in mind when you're using them. Otherwise, I mean, if that's like the worst thing I can say about them, that's really not the worst thing. I think Dina really outdid herself this time. She's amazing. And this page definitely came together because of these products. So I'm back. I'm super happy to be back. I've got so much content coming your way, so many fun, exciting announcements. And I hope if you are not a subscriber and you just found my channel that you will click that that button to subscribe to my channel and get notified whenever a live video or another video comes up. And or you want to see anything in use, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get that happening for you. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, do something that you love. Bye.